Now, Tony Wilson was the TV reporter turned would-be music mogul whose life was more rock and roll than the bands he nurtured. A new book documenting his life has been written, and the author David Nolan joins us now. Hello and welcome. Hi. Now, how well did you know Mr. Wilson?
Well, I was one of those people of a certain age who, grew up with him on the telly and, bought the factory records and went to the Hacienda when it first opened and stuff like that. Oddly enough, then I ended up working in the same place as him, which is another television station down the road that we won't talk about. And I was in the same office as him and had to listen to him swearing all the time and his phone going off all the time, as I'm sure people who worked at Channel M will know all about. And also, by coincidence, I knew his partner, Yvette Livesey, from before she even met Tony as well. So all of those things kind of collided together and resulted in the book.
So how many years of a friendship was it?
Well, with me at Granada, I was at Granada for about 13 years. Sorry, I said Granada, I didn't mean...
We don't mind.
We're all grown-ups here, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, the channels are available, David, we realise that.
So I was there for 12, 13 years, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't like him. I didn't like him when I
suspect you weren't alone in that, if we're honest.
He could be a pain in the backside.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's well documented.
Absolutely.
He had some tantrums and shouting matches when he wanted to,
lots
didn't he?
of, moist eyes, obviously, at the time, and perhaps some of the other aspects got kind of wiped out. So I'll have to say I wasn't crazy about him. One of the things was because he was like the old guard to me and who needed kicking over, do you know what I mean? So I wasn't crazy about him. I really like him now.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask, how do you go from not particularly liking him to writing a book about him?
Well, because doing the book has opened my eyes, really, into so many things. I thought I kind of knew him, and I was in the strange position when I was writing it. His partner, Yvette, was incredibly helpful in the book, and I was in the position of going to her and saying, "Did you know about this? Did you know anything at all about this?" And very often her saying no.
For example, what? I mean, obviously you don't really give too much away because you want people to buy your book, but lots of us know, the story of Tony. But which bits surprised you that you found out?
His Germanness surprised me. He has this family, this German family, that he very, very rarely discussed. And we're having a launch due tomorrow night in Marple, which is where he grew up. Yeah. He talked about Salford all the time.
I was going to say Marple and...
He was only there 2 minutes. He grew up in Marple.
Yeah, also in Charlesworth at one point.
A lot of that was in the 70s when he came back from London. But a lot of the German side of his family still live out there. And they're all going to come to the do we're having at Marple Library tomorrow night, which is kind of just sort of rewriting a little bit of the history. So his Germanness surprised me. His faith surprised me. His Catholic faith surprised me a great deal. And the very unusual kind of family setup he had as a kid. His mum was very, very much older than his dad. Yeah. He lived with his bachelor uncle as well. So he had these three adults all doting on him, spoiling him rotten when he was a kid. All these adults beaming their attention on him. I'm sure it didn't affect him anyway at all.
I suspect it may have created the rather spoilt little boy that some people said he was when he was a man.
So it's all this stuff that you're kind of turning up and, and you're finding these photographs in people's, bottom of people's drawers that haven't seen the light for years and years and years. And actually, the cover photograph was taken here. The cover photograph was taken right here.
Yeah. Shall I just grab this? Let's have a look.
Find a camera.
And it was...
there you go. We've got it. Look at it. So organised.
Perfect. And that was taken here. And in a break on the last music show that he did, which is right here at Channel M.
Yeah, I remember that.
And in that photograph there, he's desperately ill, but he doesn't know it.
Mm.
Quite poignant, that, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And when can people get this book?
It's out. Well, that is the only one, and I'm going to fight my way out with that. It's out on Monday, and someone told me last night it's gone into the book charts on the pre-sales.
On pre-sales only. It will. There's a lot of interest in Tony, and you've got so much stuff that people clearly don't know and will want to know that I'm sure it'll be an absolute bestseller.
God bless you. Thank you.
I will, for one, will be...
That's mine,
stealing that one.
Yeah. When I can get my own copy, I'll certainly be poring over it. He was a fascinating man. I only met him briefly, but I wish I'd known more about him. But I shall learn from your book, David. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much indeed.